Hello and welcome to the Northliner Foundation podcast. I'm your host, Sean Lynch, founder and executive director of the Northliner Foundation. The Northliner Foundation is committed to preserving the legacy of Herman the Duck, the beloved mascot of North Central Airlines and Republic Airlines. And when you say the word Republic Airlines, you're not only talking about North Central, but Southern Airways, Hughes Air West, and then that legacy continued into Northwest and now into Delta today. So I was inspired by the Brexit, the decision by the British people to exit the European Union. And one of the most renowned aircraft to come out of England, and it didn't just come out of England, but it was a conglomeration of English and French aerospace, was the Concorde. And the Convair is my favorite propeller-driven airplane. The Concorde is my favorite jet-powered airplane. And I just wanted to share a very special moment of my life when in 1991 the Concorde visited the EAA Oshkosh fly-in, now known as AirVenture Oshkosh. And my father was working in Detroit as an international supervisor for Northwest. We knew that the Concorde was going to be visiting, and around 6 months prior to the July visit of the Concorde, my dad worked with British Airways in Detroit, and he wrote a letter to the regional manager of British Airways requesting or seeing if we could get an invitation to visit the airplane when it would be in Oshkosh. And lo and behold, a few months later, my dad received a letter back with passes and an invitation to see the airplane when it came to Oshkosh. Now, we didn't get to fly on the airplane, but we at least got a chance to go up on board and see the cabin, sit in the seats. They actually did a small presentation talking about supersonic flight and what the flight on the Concorde, what the experience was like. It's amazing inside that airplane, and now that the Concordes are decommissioned, it's a little bit easier to actually go and see one of the airplanes. There's one at the Seattle Museum of Flight. But it was very interesting being up inside the cabin and how small it was compared to a 3x2 aisle seating. The Concorde is a 2x2 seating. So the headroom is that of a DC-9 probably, but width-wise, it seemed almost like an RJ, a CRJ 200, maybe a little bit wider because the seat was comfortable where a CRJ 200 seat is not comfortable at all. And obviously the people that are flying on the Concorde are the most elite, above first class. And of course I was 11 years old at the time too, and so just going on that, I didn't think the seat was uncomfortable at all, but it was just a wonderful experience, and one thing that my dad and my grandfather and my brother and I will always remember. We were standing down by the airplane, and it literally was somebody, a representative of British Airways, took the rope off of the hook and said, "Welcome aboard," and it was just really, really cool. And just one of those things that, I mentioned a few episodes ago about aviation, the combination of aviation and elation, and that truly was an aviation moment in my life, of getting to experience that, climbing the stairs, and then coming off the airplane, and all these spectators are standing by the airplane just literally in awe of the airplane, and like, oh my gosh, those people were up on the airplane, how can we get a tour of the airplane? That's one example of just how cool and amazing aviation and commercial aviation and airline aviation really is, and why I will always be a fan and have just a unique place in my heart for that. So I'm Sean Lynch signing off for the Northliner Foundation podcast. We'll talk to you next time.